Good evening, everyone. My name is Dinesharajan Naidu, and today we are going to be learning on how to troubleshoot your PC to find out why it's running so slow, and also some solutions to fix this problem. Now, first off, we're going to troubleshoot our PC. Now, how we're going to do that? We're going to use Task Manager. Now, to access Task Manager, just click Ctrl, Alt, and Delete at the same time on your keyboard, and it will pop up this Task Manager. It will pop up certain options, and you click on Task Manager. And if you can't see this type of menu, you can just click, and if you see something like this, just click More Details, and you can see the processes that's running on your PC right now, and the performance of what is being used, what is your computer's resources being used, and some startup apps. Now, the first thing we're going to see is how we're going to solve a slow PC. Now, we're going to take a look at startup apps. Now, what is startup apps? These apps start up when you switch on your PC. Now, having many startup apps deployed at once will slow down your PC exponentially, as all of them are running at the same time. Now, having a lot of apps will reduce your PC's performance exponentially. So disabling these startup apps will not allow them to come online when you switch on your PC, and this will effectively make your PC run faster. Now, for example, I do not want this Autodesk to be switch on when I'm starting up my laptop, and since I don't use it much, you can just disable it. It's as simple as that. And disabling certain apps will help improve the performance. And another way that you can improve the performance of your PC is go to processes and end the processes that identify the processes that are taking up a lot of your PC's resources, and then ending them. So you get, let's say Google, as you can see, Google Chrome is taking a lot of my memory. I can just end the task, but this is actually a temporary solution, as once you switch that app back on, switch that certain program back on, your PC will slow down anyway. Now, to battle this, I suggest upgrading your hardware. Now, on what cause do you need to upgrade your hardware? Now, let's take a look. There are two types of causes: insufficient memory and slow hardware. Now, when it comes to insufficient memory, it applies to your hard disk or solid state drive. So if your solid state drive or hard disk is going to be full, as you can see here, this has 30 gigs of space free. Now, let's say you only have 5 or 1 gig of space free. This will slow down your PC or laptop exponentially. You have very little space left, especially if you're only running your PC on one drive, as a lot of the apps are going to be running from the same drive. Accessing them will take time, especially if you're using a hard drive. If you're using a solid state drive, it still doesn't matter, because your drive is going to be full or is already full, and having that little bit of space will help the apps run freely. Now, upgrading to a solid state drive, which has higher capacity. So let's say you upgrade to a solid state drive that has 500 gigabytes. This will really help improve the performance of your operating system, basically your whole PC performance. And having two drives, this is actually two separate drives, will help improve the health of your PC. Now, a second part that I'm going to talk about is RAM. Now, insufficient RAM is a very bad thing, as if you see right here, I am currently in use of 7.1 gigabytes of my RAM, and I have 16 gigs currently. But before I upgraded to 16 gigs, I only had 8 gigs. That would mean I only have about 900 MB of free RAM left. And if I want to multitask certain apps, this will slow down my computer. And I know this. because it will start to buffer. My games will buffer, and when I'm watching a movie, it just slows down. I cannot move my mouse. So this will really affect your system performance. So upgrading your RAM to a much larger capacity will really help your PC become faster. Now, the second part of causes with hardware is slow hardware. Now, what does that mean? This applies mainly to your hard disk drive. Now, currently, I'm using a hard disk drive for my games because hard disk drives are cheaper compared to solid state drives, but they come at a price. Hard HDDs are much slower than SSDs. HDDs are hard disk drives and SSDs are solid state drives. Solid state drives have much higher read and write speeds. They are much faster than normal hard drives, but they come at a price. They come at a higher price. Like having a solid state drive to run your operating system on and certain apps that you often use. So let's say you have you have Google Chrome, you have Discord, many of your apps. It is recommended to install them on your solid state drive, whereas the heavier apps such as your games, your AutoCAD, that is better to be installed on a HDD because of the higher storage capacity of a HDD. That is basically it for how to troubleshoot your PC and find out some solutions. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this has helped you. Thank you.